Have you ever felt lost, small, and all alone in a world that seems way too big? Well, meet Pip, a tiny chick with fluff as yellow as a buttercup and a heart full of courage he didn't even know he had. His story begins not in the cozy farmyard, but on the vast, unpredictable expanse of the deep blue sea. Pip's world was once a bustling, noisy cargo ship. He and his siblings were nestled in a crate, dreaming of green fields. But one stormy night, a giant wave crashed over the deck, and with a lurch and a splash, Pip's crate was tossed into the churning ocean. When the sun rose, he found himself alone, perched on a piece of splintered wood, a tiny yellow speck in an endless world of blue. The sea was his new, terrifying home. Fear, cold and sharp, pricked at him. Where was his family? Where was the land? All he could see was water, stretching to the horizon in every direction. Days blurred into a routine of survival. Pip learned to peck at tiny bits of algae that clung to his makeshift raft. He learned to drink the morning dew that collected on the wood. The sun warmed his feathers, and the gentle rocking of the waves sometimes lulled him to sleep. But the loneliness was a constant ache. He would chirp, sending his tiny voice out into the vastness, hoping for an answer that never came. He watched dolphins leap in the distance, their sleek bodies a joyful dance he couldn't join. He saw great whales breach, their size making him feel even smaller. He was a creature of the land, lost in the world of water. One afternoon, a shadow fell over him. Looking up, Pip saw a magnificent albatross, with wings wider than his entire world. The great bird circled once, then landed gracefully on the other end of the wooden plank. Pip trembled, but the albatross simply blinked its wise, dark eyes. "You are far from home, little one," its voice seemed to rumble, not in words, but in a feeling of deep understanding. Pip could only manage a weak chirp in response. The albatross, whom Pip came to call Sky, became his first friend. Sky would visit daily, bringing tales of distant shores and soaring clouds. He taught Pip how to read the stars and how to tell which way the currents were flowing. Sky's visits were a lifeline, a reminder that he wasn't entirely alone. One day, Sky arrived with a sense of urgency. "A storm is coming," he communicated. "A big one. You must hold on tight." The sky turned from a gentle blue to a bruised purple-gray. The wind howled, and the waves grew into monstrous, moving mountains. Pip clung to his raft with all his might as it was tossed and thrown like a leaf in a gale. Water crashed over him, salty and cold, and for a moment, he thought it was the end. He was terrified, but then he remembered Sky's words, "Hold on tight." He thought of the sunrises he'd seen, the dolphins he'd watched, and the unlikely friendship he'd found. He wanted to see more. He had to survive. So he held on, his tiny claws digging into the wet wood, refusing to let go. When the storm finally broke, Pip was exhausted but alive. His raft had survived. As the morning mist began to clear, he saw something on the horizon. It wasn't just blue. It was a thin line of green. Land! His heart leaped with a joy so powerful it almost knocked him off his perch. He started chirping, a loud, triumphant song this time. The current, as if rewarding his resilience, was carrying him straight towards it. As he drifted closer, the green line grew into lush trees, and he could smell the sweet scent of earth and flowers. It was the most beautiful thing he had ever seen. His raft finally bumped against a sandy shore. Pip stumbled onto the beach, his legs wobbly after so long at sea. He was on a tropical island, a paradise of vibrant colors and strange, wonderful sounds. He was no longer the frightened chick who had fallen into the water. He was a survivor. He had faced the vastness of the ocean, weathered a terrible storm, and found a new home. He had learned that even when you feel lost and small, there is a strength inside you that can carry you through the biggest challenges. The sea had taken everything from him, but it had also given him an unbreakable spirit. Pip explored his new island home, making friends with the curious crabs and colorful parrots. He never forgot his journey or his friend, Sky, who would sometimes visit. Soaring high above the island, Pip would look up, chirp a greeting, and feel a deep sense of gratitude. He had learned that home isn't just a place you are born into. Sometimes it's a place you find after a long, hard journey. It's a place you earn through courage and hope. And sometimes, the greatest adventures begin when you find yourself completely and utterly lost. So if you ever feel like a tiny chick on a vast ocean, remember Pip. Remember to hold on, to look for the helpers, and to never, ever give up hope. You are stronger than you think, and your own island paradise might be just over the horizon, waiting for you to arrive. Every sunrise brings a new beginning, and even the biggest storms eventually pass. Your journey is what makes you who you are. Thank you so much for joining us on Pip's incredible adventure today. We hope his story inspired you as much as it did us. If you enjoyed this tale of courage and resilience, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel for more heartwarming stories. We love sharing these journeys with you. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next video. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.